Before I bring you the big investigation into the Baba black sheep, let me take you through first the 6 exposés we've put out so far. Remember, from the Enforcement Directorate, the Income Tax Department, the IB, multiple government agencies probing India Today's hard-hitting investigations. Let me take you through and remind our viewers once again what these investigations have been. In the first instance, we had an expose on how NGOs were being used to route black money and turn it into white. Then we exposed chartered accountants who are acting as black marketeers, finding ways of converting black money into white. That was expose number 2. Following this was expose number 3, which showed how jewelers were converting black money into white. It didn't stop there. Then came expose number 4, which showed how the Hawala route was being used to get black money converted into legitimate currency. Then came expose number 5, which showed how Jantar accounts were for sale and how the Prime Minister's pet project was being subverted. Finally, expose number 6, which showed how real estate builders were taking people's black money and offering to turn this into white. So 6 hard-hitting cash mafia exposés so far. I now bring you expose number 7, the Baba black sheep, the so-called godman who you'll now see on camera willing to convert black money into white. Remember, a lot of the money that goes into temples when you go and put a donation is ultimately sent into banks. Now, what if you're able to cut a deal with the Baba or the person running that bank, the person running that temple, to get your black money back in legitimate currency? India Today Special Investigation Team files this report. A sordid scandal swirling in houses of worship. Torchbearers of faith turn centers of spirituality into racketeering agencies. An investigation done by the India Today Special Investigation Team has raised a major red flag. As the nation tries to wipe out illicit wealth, our undercover reporters have found how some so-called holy men and women are exploiting religious institutions under their control to launder money and black market outlawed currency. This Vaishno temple in Ghaziabad near Delhi is run by Radha Mata, its popular spiritual head, who draws the faithful from as far as southern India. But our special investigation team discovered Radha Mata's activities stretched way beyond faith.
बेटा 50% लेगा वो बंदा बैंक वाला घर बैठे सर्विस देगा पेमेंट घर बैठे
मतलब 1500 रखे कैसे देगा नोट वही नए वाले
देगा टोटल नहीं देगा
2-2 वाले
सब 2, 4, 5 जो भी है नहीं देगा जॉब चल रही है पुराने नहीं
मतलब इस हाथ दें मतलब इन्होंने 2.5 करोड़ दिया तुरंत मिल जाएगा 2.5
तुरंत नहीं मिलेगा
हाँ।
एक दिन का इंतजार कर
कोई तो 7 का सेवा की जाएगा
उसकी जगह पर चेक भी मिल जाएगा.
You just heard Radha Mata promising to swap banned currency notes locally, but her shady network appeared to be transnational, as she also offered payments overseas through Hawala routes.
विदेश में दिलवा देंगे पैसा
डॉलर दिला देंगे जहाँ भी लोगे पैसा जो रखना
मैंने 1 करोड़ रुपए दे दिए यहाँ
तो वो डॉलर दे
दुबई में मिल जाएगा
एक दिन में एक व्यक्ति 50,000 रुपए सप्ताह में
पेमेंट वही दिला दूंगा
कहाँ
दुबई लेकर नहीं डाले इंग्लैंड ले.
In no time, Radha Mata called in a broker. Surendra Sharma arrived in a UP government car and promised Hawala transfers in Dubai.
अभी आज का है अगर आज बोलते हैं तो 125 करेंगे नहीं तो कितना मिल जाएगा ये आप कैलकुलेशन करो आप मुझे 125 रुपए दोगे $1 में.
Secret remittances of corrupt wealth by spiritual gurus like Radha Mata is one side of the story. India Today's investigation also unearthed the other. Sacred shrines, shortchanging unaccounted and invalid currency. In the ancient temple town of Mathura, several religious officials were found to be replacing scrapped banknotes clandestinely for hefty commissions. A priest at Mathura's Vrindavan Bihari temple manipulating accounts to show black money as donation is no issue.
नंबर 2 में नहीं हो सकता।
नहीं, नंबर 1 में तो आपका होगा, हम नंबर 2 में देंगे।
आप नंबर 2 में दीजिए, हमें उसको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता
जी।
हमारी टेस्ट में आप गुल्लक में डाल दीजिए
जी,
मैं उसको शो कर देता हूँ, जमा हो जाएगा।
कितना तक कर सकते हैं
वो मैं थोड़ा सीरियस बात करके बता दूँ।
So, this priest is ready to doctor books to park black money. He now introduces India Today's undercover reporters with the chief of the temple, Ram Guru, who then quotes the charges for this conversion. A huge 35% cut. Ram Guru offered 25 lakh rupees immediately for 1 crore in illegal currency and the rest in installments.
जगह तो बात करिए थोड़ा सा पड़ा है 20-25
और कम है
20-25 लाख पड़ा है
मतलब अभी पड़ा हुआ है
इतना ही पड़े तो मिलेगा आपको उसके बाद उनको दूसरे को मिलेगा वो किसी तीसरे को डाल देगा भाई तो ज़्यादा किसी पे नहीं है थोड़ा करेंगे जो आप तब वो कर पाएंगे अपने लोग
100 में 35 मिलेंगे हमें
आपको देंगे 100 में 65
Rates for black marketing illicit wealth varied from temple to temple. After a brief bargain, the head of Delhi's Siddh Peeth Kalka Shrine, Sudha Bhardwaj, offered to repay up to 50% of illegitimate money in legal tender.
वो चीज जो है इसका ऐसे होगा
कि हम कहीं से सोर्स 40% आपको रिटर्न कर दें और 60% ट्रस्ट में।
अच्छा ले लेंगे आप 40% रिटर्न कर देंगे
40% के लिए
ये मैडम
बात करेंगे तो 50 भी हो सकता है।
नोट तो सारे नए मिल जाएंगे ना 500 के साथ नए वाले जो
वो नए वाले
2000 वाले
वो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आपको जो
अभी
मिलेंगे
40
You heard now how easy it is for these temple operators to barter black money with charity funds. India Today's investigators next visited the Sai temple near Noida's Atta market. The priest takes the team to one of its managers, Manoj Paudwal. Listen to his proposal.
कि अभी आपके पास नया पैसा कितना होगा हमें अंदर वो आइडिया 10 से और 5 तक जो है शुरुआत से डील होगी मतलब 10 CR या 10 पेटी या 5 पेटी मतलब 1 CR नहीं खोका हाँ खोका नहीं अच्छा। लेकिन यह है कि अभी 1 महीने का टाइम है उस 1 महीने के अंदर जितना भी होगा ये वादा मेरा मैं करवा सकता हूँ। अच्छा नोट कौन सा मिलेगा 2000 का भी मिलेगा 100 का भी मिलेगा 500 का भी मिलेगा नया वाला जी परसेंटेज बताना आपने बताया मतलब 40% लगेगा 40 तो ज़्यादा है सर आप ट्राई करो।
A secret is out in the open. Financial crimes appear to be rampant in many religious organizations, more so after the black money purge. A tough challenge for the government to hold religious institutions accountable in a country where faith wields real clout. With Syed Masroor, Muhammad Hizbullah and K. Ashish, this is the India Today Special Investigation Team. To talk about this investigation, I'm joined now by Sanju Verma, spokesperson of the BJP. We've also got Madhu Gaud Yashki of the Congress Party joining us on this broadcast. I want to go across to Sanju Verma first. Expose number 7. An expose which shows once again how a new route has been found for people to convert black money into white. Now, in this case, you've got temples, trusts. Now, these are supposedly divine institutions. These are institutions where you've got supposedly holy men operating. Now, what does the BJP and the government, Sanju, make of this investigation?
Hello?
Yeah, Sanju, I hear you fine. Go ahead, please.
Rahul, you know, I think first of all, kudos to your team for this expose. That said, I think, you know, it does not come as a surprise to most of us, and I'm sure to people in your audience as well, that yes, financial crimes have been rampant now, you know, for a long time in religious places, in charitable institutions, in religious bodies. So I don't think that this has specifically to do with what the Prime Minister announced on 8th November by way of demonetization. In fact, if anything, I think this whole demonetization process has flushed out the people who use the system and, you know, try to find lacunae and loopholes to play around with the system. Because, you know, let's not forget that the constitution, the income tax rules, the law and order machinery clearly differentiates between public trusts and private trusts. Now, it's very important, and the moot point for your audience to know is that while public trusts are, you know, immune from income taxation in more ways than one, they enjoy a lot of tax concessions under Section 80G of the Income Tax Act of 1961. That said, the private charitable trusts, the private religious bodies are not exempt from paying tax. And irrespective of whether you're a public or a private trust, the most important thing is that you still have to maintain a balance sheet, you have to have your accounts audited, you have to, you know, fill up that Form 10 of the income tax and show that, you know, more than 85% of the income is derived from religious or charitable.
You've set up this debate, and essentially what you're saying is that even if these lacuna have been captured on camera by India Today's investigation team, the government is alive to the threat, the government is responding. Madhu Gaudiashki, we've already seen the ED, the Income Tax Department, the IB, all of them look very carefully at money that's being pumped into different sectors, act against some people, some have been raided and booked. So the government is saying this is really not a lacuna of demonetization, this is not really a weakness, this really is something which enables us to act against those trying to short circuit the system. How do you respond, Madhu?
Rahul, just
one second, Sanju, you've had your opening intervention, let Madhu
itself
speak.
is a failure. Why we said it? Please hold on. So wait, wait a minute. The whole why we opposition is raising this issue, Rahul, that itself is a big scam. There's no preparedness to counter neither the black money nor the corruption. The so-called pledge by the Prime Minister on 8th November, this demonetization, now the Venkaiah Naidu says a remonetization. Now they come up, they forgot about the black money or fighting about corruption. Now they start about saying that it is for the cashless economy. So the Revenue Secretary says one thing, the whole so-called currency which is in the market, 85% of the currency is back into the banking system. So where is the black money? So the question, pertaining question here, Rahul, what you've been exposing earlier with the chartered accountants, now the temples, the pertaining question here, what is the government is doing? What action they have taken? What preparedness government has did it? So the selective leak of the government to help some of those cronies, the so-called big fat wedding by the BJP ministers and leaders, and some of the BJP leaders caught with the huge new currency. So where is the Prime Minister big talk of taking action on the corrupt people?
Sanju, respond to that. Now you can say one perspective is the one that you've presented.
Yes, I will.
One second, Madhu, I hear you. Sanju, absolutely, Sanju, you can say that the government is acting, but the Congress makes the point that look at the multiple ways that have been found. It shows that the policy hasn't been thought through, because if it had, people wouldn't have found so many jugaad mechanics which have been in overdrive. They're saying, of course it's a failure of the policy. If everybody manages to find some illegitimate way of converting their black money into white, then what purpose does demonetization or remonetization serve?
Rahul, you know your question is long. At least allow me 60 seconds because it's unfair to be interrupted. Now coming to your question and hello.
Sanju, go ahead.
Hello. Now coming to your question and the baseless allegations made by Mr. Yakshi. First of all, you know, please stop talking. Please stop talking about this, you know, Reddy wedding. I don't know why nobody in the media and why the Congress is not talking about the wedding of Ajay Krishnan, son of former Congress Minister Adur Prakash.
There's a big minister.
He had a wedding of a few hundred crores. He had a wedding of a few hundred crores for his son on Sunday. So please do not. He was a Congress minister. He was a Congress minister. Please get your facts right. Ajay Krishnan is the son of a former Congress minister. So please don't mislead the audience.
Miss Sanju, you are big.
Once again. Both faders down. Both faders down. 1 second. Both faders down. Neither of you can be heard by my viewers right now because I've turned faders down. So Sanju, you will answer the question that you're being asked. I know you're a lawyer and I know that you like to deflect. You can't be heard right now, Sanju. I will ask you the question. Once you've heard my question, respond only to the question that I asked. My question was this: if everybody finds a way of converting black money into white, then the Congress asks, what purpose does the demonetization drive serve? This was supposed to be a campaign against black money. A lot of that black money is now being converted into white, whether it's by temple trusts today, chartered accountants, real estate dealers. There are jugaad mechanics in overdrive. Respond only to this question, Sanju.
Now my answer to this specific question is that people who say demonetization has failed because 11.5 crore worth of deposits have come into the banking system need to relearn their economics and unlearn what they know till now. Because do remember that if 11.5 crores from 14.5 lakh crores have come back into the banks as deposits, it only shows that what was erstwhile a part of the informal economy has now merged with the formal economy. What was not accounted for has today found its way into the banking system. And demonetization has already resulted in prices crashing by 20 to 30% in the real estate market in Mumbai. So going forward, you will see inflation fall by 30 to 40 basis points. People say demonetization has, impaired consumption, so the GDP will fall by 50 basis points to 100 basis points. I am an economist and I challenge anyone. Tell me, the 7.3% growth in GDP that you saw for the September quarter, do you know that came largely because of government spending? And demonetization will give an impetus to government spending like no other
I want final
measure.
words from Madhu Gaur before I move on to the next story. Madhu, the principal argument that Sanju makes is this: you can't call it a failure if people are converting black money into white. At least what was earlier black has now become white or is in the process of becoming white. The fact that the parallel economy is merging with the real economy, that by itself shows the success of the scheme. Madhu Gaur, final words.
Rahul, India is a parallelly cash economy. 90% of the people works on cash, the agricultural labor, the laborers. The claim by the Amit Shah on your own channel, him. He said by getting this money into the banking system, he will get the lower interest rate to the people who are going to buy homes. You have seen yesterday RBI governor's unanimous decision, neither they are lowering the interest rate, and the GDP growth from 7.6 to came to 7.1.5%. That itself result into 3 lakh crores loss. 1.2 and 28 lakh crore expenditure incurred so far by the so-called demonetization. The straight and simple question, Rahul, if this big currency going to curb the black money, why you introduce 2,000 rupees note? So this itself shows Prime Minister neither he has knowledge in economics nor he has taken professional economic advice. Economists worldwide
and I end this debate here. I've got Sanju, she's putting up a hand. She wants to make a very quick intervention. Sanju, I'll give you only 20 seconds. Please go ahead.
Rahul, please.
20 seconds, Sanju.
Not coming to the parliament and answering.
Rahul, please ask him to stop. Mr. Madhu Gaur Yakshi, like Rahul Gandhi and the Indian National Congress, does not know the difference between GDP and GVA growth. The RBI brought down the GVA forecast from 7.6 to 7.1, but the GDP forecast has not been brought down. Demonetization will increase the tax net, lower the tax rate and increase the tax revenues.
And GDP is GVA plus indirect taxes minus subsidies. So while GVA might come down to 7.1%, GDP could well be 8%
Okay,
or
Sanju
9%,
Verma,
2 quarters or 3 quarters.
Madhu Gaudyashki for joining me on this expose on Baba Black Sheep. Thank you very much. Clearly showing one more avenue being exploited. You know, each time we run these investigations, I receive calls from senior officers in governmental agencies, the IB, the CBI, the ED, the IT department. At least they're alert and they're awake. So they're acting against these conmen. The problem is there's so many of them who are proliferating, and all of them are finding ingenious ways of turning black into white. So I leave it to you to decide what you make of our investigation. In the midst of all of this, new currency notes. Remember, at this time in my wallet I have only about 50 rupees because I haven't been able to get my hands on cash. Despite the inconvenience everybody else is suffering, there are people who've been able to get hold of crores of rupees. Where are these people getting these crores from? Here's the story.
As India struggles for cash, literally begging for divine intervention, even performing funerals of ATMs like this one in Bengaluru, the villains are out on a loot. It's been a month post-Centre's surgical strike on black money. As you sweat in December to withdraw one crisp 2,000 rupee note and dream of getting your hands on the permitted 24,000 rupees per week, the hoarders already have crores in new currency stashed away. But now the hunt is on. One after another, the big fish are in the net or on radar. The Income Tax Department busted a money exchange racket operating from Chennai. At least 8 locations were raided. Rupees 107 crore in cash and 130 kilo of gold seized. Out of this, 10 crore in new currency. 2 men arrested in Gujarat's Porbandar with rupees 25 lakh in their possession. In Surat, cops arrested 4 people with new bank notes worth rupees 76 lakhs.
चेकिंग के दरमियान 4 व्हील में से जो महाराष्ट्र पासिंग की थी 4455 नंबर की होंडा सिटी कार, उसकी डीकी में से 2000 की नई करेंसी के टोटल 38 बंडल मिले थे. जो भी होगा वो उसमें वो आईटी डिपार्टमेंट काम करेगा.
In Mumbai, 4 people were detained by the crime branch after recovering new notes worth rupees 85 lakhs from the Innova they were travelling in. Out of these, there were 2,000 rupee notes worth 72 lakh rupees.
There were 72 lakh rupees of 2,000 notes were there, and 100 rupees notes of 13 lakh rupees there. So right now, all these 4 men, including the cash and this vehicle, the crime branch have confiscated the cash. They have detained the 4 people and this vehicle also.
In Gurgaon, 2 people have been arrested with new currency worth rupees 10 lakh.
लगभग 12 बजे ये इस्लामपुर के पास चेकिंग कर रहे थे. उस दौरान 2 बंदे स्कूटी पे आए जिनको चेक किया तो उनके पास से लगभग 10 लाख नई करेंसी बरामद हुई. जिस सिलसिले में इनकम टैक्स अथॉरिटीज को ऑलरेडी इन्फॉर्म कर दिया है. वो इसमें जो कार्रवाई उनकी बनती है वो कर रहे हैं.
The RBI has been caught snoring. How have these men gained access to so much new currency? Are bank insiders complicit? With Virendra Singh Gunawat in Mumbai, Gopi Gangar in Ahmedabad and Pramod Madhav in Chennai. Bureau Report, India Today.
And I managed to get out my wallet. I just want to show it to you. Here it is. This is my wallet. 50 rupees in it. That's all. 20, 20, 10. There is a real problem. People aren't finding cash. 20, 20 and another 20. That's it. So there is a problem. Hopefully the government will be able to get a grip on this problem and currency will come back into the market soon enough. As of now, the situation is far from normal and there is a real problem, and that anxiety, that frustration, the anger is rising. Make no mistake about it.